Palestinian media manipulation during the Second Intifada has been the subject of much research and concern in Israel, and no case is more defining than that of Muhammad Adura, a Palestinian boy killed during a gun battle between Palestinian gunmen and IDF forces at the Gaza Strip's Netzarim Junction in the first few days of the Intifada. Despite facts on the ground pointing otherwise, IDF forces were blamed for the child's death by France 2 TV correspondent Charles Anderlin. Today, we speak with Professor Richard Landis of Boston University, operator of the Second Draft website, and journalist and columnist Nidra Poller, both of whom have written and lectured extensively on the case.
So it was able, it's like a stain, it was able to take root and set in. What we observe is that little parts can be taken away and brought back. The blood libel remains. So the accusation that Jews kill Palestinian children, that's the part that remains. So if you say to somebody, well, no, you know very well that Jewish soldiers would not be shooting for 45 minutes at a sitting target before they could hit it, if they ever did want to. Right? So they would, people will discuss that. But the blood libel is what is remaining, and it is operating fully. It's in the Gaza Beach episode, Beit Hanun, Kfar Kana. Whether something happens really or doesn't happen at all, it can be staged again. What was established is that Jews kill children, and because Jews kill children, that one day, 30th of September, Netzarim, all the violence that has been operating against Jews is justified.
But what happened at the junction, and how did Anderlin and his Palestinian cameraman report the story?
I was stunned. I was stunned, first of all, because just about every scene that wasn't boring was staged. And because when I pointed it out to Anderlin, he said to me, well, they always do that.
In subsequent news reports, he explained that the Israelis were facing the wall. That isn't true. The Israelis' position was at an angle where they couldn't even see them or hit them by bullets, unless bullets can go around corners.
On the other hand, we don't see any shots coming from the Israeli position. In fact, the only two bullets that hit the wall during the 59 seconds come from the Palestinian side. So there's even crossfire doesn't make sense in terms of what we're looking at. But immediately this attitude that the Israelis did it on purpose becomes crucial. And particularly crucial to the Palestinians, so they actually insert a picture of first you see Muhammad al-Dura and the father waving desperately, then you see an Israeli gunman fire, then you go back and you see the boy dead. Okay, so the Palestinians literally saw an Israeli target. And that's the blood libel. It's the intention. It's not accidental. It can't work if it's accidental.
How is the libel that Adura was killed by Israeli forces perpetuated throughout the years?
You can see it on Palestinian sites. Okay, so the accusation is withdrawn anytime there's a too strong light on it, and then it's immediately put back. 6 years later, Charles Anderlin is still making statements to make you think that the Israelis did, and the story doesn't work unless the Israelis deliberately killed the boy.
Right. And what you have is a Hezbollah poster where they've actually sort of freeze-framed the two scenes together so that you can see the Israelis shooting al-Dura. Now, the Israelis actually firing rubber bullets at a riot that was caused by the image of.
There is much that remains to be said about media manipulation in the case of Muhammad Adura. Join us at InfoLive TV for the second in a series of features on the issue.